By the stewards, welcome. Good evening. You got it?
That was a burp.
That was a what?
A burp.
Do you have your, you want to put your Facebook up so you can see it? Good evening. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to our home. I feel like I need to get closer to you or something. I don't feel like I'm close enough to you. Pull the microphone a little bit closer to me. I feel like I need to get closer to you for some odd reason. Are we close enough in the picture?
Yeah.
Welcome. Love Wins by the Stewards. Welcome to season 3, episode 4. Today we got a really great episode that we're recording. First of all, we have to take care of our housekeeping business and talk about our sponsors, okay? So sponsors, right now we have our big sponsor, which we have been broadcasting from our home since we started season 3, but normally we broadcast in the Empire Studios, which Empire happened to be one of our sponsors.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Last week we had Dee Dee Jones and we had Peasy concert. This week we got a interesting week we got going on. Friday night we got Mike Joy Party. On Saturday night we have Rich Homie Quan performing live at Empire.
Hit the Quan.
And is that what he sings?
Hit the Quan. Is that his dance?
I don't know about that.
His song?
Yeah, I don't know. And then Sunday night we have which I'm really excited about. All right, we have the celebrity charity basketball game. I decided.
That's gonna be dope.
I decided about maybe a couple of months with all of the violence we have going on in our city that we need to do our part in helping curb the violence. So I hooked up with Tracy Johnson at Fortois and Club Empire will play Club Trois in a celebrity basketball game. All of our employees, our promoters, our DJs are going to play a charity basketball game this Sunday at Dunbar Community Center at 2:00 p.m. All right, doors open. We're not practicing. We're just going to play. It's for charity. And we're going to give all the money. It's only a $5 admission. So please come out and support the cause. It's $5 to get in. And all of the proceeds are going to go to charity. 100% of the proceeds are going to go to charity. And we've got celebrity DJ Drewster who's going to be on. It's going to be a party on Sunday. It's kind of going to be like a day party, but we're going to be playing basketball. Yeah. All right. And Mayor Frank Scott Jr. is going to be a part of that. The police chief is going to come by at halftime and also be a part of that. The city of Little Rock is embracing it and getting behind it. And I was glad that they gave us a facility so we can host this big PR event. So if you're not doing anything Sunday at 2:00, come to Dunbar Recreation Center on 14th.
Let's let our baby play. She need to be point.
Randy, I always say we don't want her to get her for free. We don't want her. That's my.
Hello, everybody.
That is my ticket out to get her.
My hubby's Instagram.
What up?
Hi.
What up? Andrea is on there. I see you. So tell these people.
Hey, Andrea.
Yeah, tell these lovely people how they can be a sponsor. Who you're saying hello? Who
hey, Simone. I think that's Simone. I don't know.
Is that Simone?
What'd you say?
Tell these people how they could be a sponsors. We're looking for sponsors to sponsor our podcast. So tell them how they could be a sponsor.
So if you'd like to be a sponsor, make sure that you send us an email at, what's the email address?
No, you say it.
Stewart.lovewins@gmail.com, or you can inbox myself or my husband on any social media platform. We need to check it today. We do check our email. Nevertheless, it's probably easier to get us on a social media site. Or if you guys see us out somewhere like, hey, I want to be on the show or whatever. So make sure you send us an inbox, send us an email. Also, make sure you send us a talking point for the business. I like for those to reach out to us earlier so I can give a fair and honest review of your product. So whether it's food, clothing, whatever, I like to be very transparent. So I'm just not going to advertise something that I think is awesome and I hadn't had an opportunity to try it. So
that's a personal endorsement. But I mean, people can promote.
Yeah,
they can pay to promote. You don't have to personally endorse it, right?
Yeah, but Just give us your talking points. Give us your talking points. The thing you like most about your business. We'll shoot something over to you. You can even come on live if you want to come on and purchase like a 5-10 minute segment or something and come on and talk about your business. We can do that as well. So you can come over with us and talk about it on live.
Also, we're trying to take our show on the road. All right, the pandemic is not over yet, but we can be safe and we can come out and do our show on the road. We can come and do our show at our podcast at your place of business.
And
hit us up. Let us know what you got. Listen, we are very versatile. We can do a lot of 21st century advertising and marketing for your company. So just let us know what you got up. right?
And so we are live on my Facebook page, and we're also live on his Instagram page. You guys know. So those that don't know, we go live on our social media sites while we're filming the podcast. We do not house these videos on our social media sites. We just go live so you guys can kind of communicate back and forth with us, and we have an interactive audience. However, you can listen to the audio on any podcast channel. Search for Loved Ones by the Stewarts, and you can listen to that video at on YouTube? Brian Stewart Sr.
Yep. So the video, like you said, is on YouTube, and the audio is on any podcast streaming source. Just search for Love Wins by the Stewart, right?
So, hey, Dominique.
So shout out to everybody who's on our live already.
Hey,
Who you got?
Ken.
You got Kennedy. I ain't seen Kennedy in a long time. What's up, niece? Dom. I see Dominique, and then Joy Holmes. Yep. She said, love this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So listen, if you are around your children, if your children are present, please remove them, because not our first topic, but our second topic is going to be a little adult sensitive, children sensitive rather. It's for adult ears only. All right. Don't be saying we talking about nasty stuff, because we're going to talk about the stuff that relationships go through.
True.
And it's going to be adult driven. So if you have children listening, please tell them to go read a book. Tell them to go play a video game. Tell them to go outside,
Stay
even though it's
locked up in
8:30.
their rooms as they always do.
Because
anyway.
we're going to talk about grown people stuff. All right. Today, we're going to get a little grown. All right.
And
so,
those that are on our live, here are the rules to the live. You must be interactive. So if you want us to expound on a conversation or a comment, if you want to ask a question, even if you want to be on live, we've gotten people on our live. So if you want to explain something in theory that it may be too much to comment, you can join our live. We'll bring you on the live.
We will bring you on.
To. So yes, so that's the only rule. The only rule to you guys being members of our live videos is that you have to be interactive, ask questions, comments. And if you want to be part of the live, we'll bring you on live. If you're not comfortable with video, we'll just kind of do audio. Just put your phone upside down or something. Cool.
Yep. Shout out to my wife. She has been very diligent in this third season, our first and our second season. I was chasing around getting her to do these podcast episodes, but shout out to my wife. She has been on me to stay on this podcast. So shout out to you. I want to give a big shout out to you today, baby. You have been on your stuff. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to her, because she keeping me in line and keeping me on track. Even though we're a day late, I told you that we like to do our episodes on Sundays and Mondays, but because we have a revolving life, we have too much going on. Sometimes it's very difficult to get a Sunday evening or a Monday evening to record. So we are coming to you when we possibly can. Yep, we're good. That's shout out to my wife for that. All right. Who you saying, Brenda? Who is that?
Yep, our cousin Brenda.
Is that the one that be talking crazy?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy. We got her on here. Shout out to Brenda Brooks. I see you, girl. I see you. All right. So our first topic today, where did you get this question from? Did somebody inbox you this question, or where'd you get this question from?
It was twice. I saw the question asked, and then somebody messaged me about it. Like, I think this would be a good topic on the podcast. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let's try it. So I guess they think we're just controversial. Nevertheless, that's what we're here for. So hey, let's do it. Yeah.
So the first question is, should a man have a say in whether a woman can have an abortion? I'm going to ask it again. Should a man have a say in if a woman can terminate a pregnancy, go have an abortion? Should he be able to say? And I think I don't know. Are you asking the question either way, Shanetta?
I'm asking the question to men and women. Like, guys, do you think that your opinion or your decision matters to a woman, that when she tell you that she's pregnant and you make the decision to either her keep the pregnancy or whatever, do you guys feel that your opinion should matter?
Both ways, right? So
yes.
You're saying that should you be able to say if she could have the child?
Yes, absolutely.
And you should also be able to say if she wants to terminate it, you should also have some say if you want her to have it, right?
Absolutely.
That's the question you're asking.
So either way, we're asking either way, but we're asking both parties. So we're asking the women, do you think guys should have that authority? Do you think there's something that they should be able to make the decision on with you? or vice versa? Or men, do you guys think that? Well, tell me how you feel about that. Like that's a hot topic.
Yeah,
like,
Dominique, Joy, we need you guys to answer this. All right, Brenda, we want you to chime in. We want to know your opinion. No answer is the wrong answer, right?
No answer is the wrong answer.
Yeah.
No.
So we want you to chime in. Some people that's on my Instagram live. We got Kennedy, MZ, Shantae. If you guys want to chime in, we need you to answer these questions so we could be very interactive.
Just so we can know. I just want to know how you guys feel. Lachey says, this is my first time joining. Looking forward to y'all podcast. Thank you,
Welcome, Lachey. Welcome.
We hope that you'll be a continuous listener.
And please, and before we get start talking, if you will, once you get our live, go in your notification and please check the deal to get the notification when we go live, because we go live on Facebook every time we do this, right?
Yes, we do.
So please get the notification. Do you have somebody? You already got somebody ever comment?
Yes. So Kimberly says, I don't think his opinion should matter because truly, if he decides to walk out after the baby, she won't be able to have an opinion on him leaving. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah. So she's saying that she doesn't. So it's kind of a tricky situation, because I do think that a lot of times the man voice is often ignored and not listened to when it comes to serious issues like pregnancy. Now let's be 100% honest. Sometimes we get in situations, because I know people will say the times that we've talked about this, women have said, well, you knew you could get her pregnant if you have sex with her without protection. Yeah, you're right. You also did it too. You were there doing it with me, and you knew you could possibly have a pregnancy to come out of this, but you still did it.
Right.
So things happen, right? Things happen. And so how do you go in deciding what's best for the future, which is the child that's going to come out of that, and for the young lady and the young man? I oftentimes think that the woman does not value the man's opinion. I do understand that the majority of the time the baby resides with the mom. She has custody. She takes care of, and in most cases, let's say most cases, there are some cases that the baby resides and lives with the father, but the majority of the cases, I think a woman's perception is that because I'm going to be the person that's taking care of them, I'm going to be the person that's, taking care of, babysitting them and feeding them and living with them and clothing them and getting them to school and all of those things, that your opinion is not as important as mine. I tend to disagree with that. All right. I think that if you guys sit down and y'all do the grown man whoopee or whatever you call it, what do you call it? You got
the
an
yum
acronym.
Bouncy bounce.
If you do the yum bouncy bounce and you become pregnant, I think the father should have some say on if you're going to have the baby, because obviously you're going to have to assist in taking care of the baby, hopefully financially, hopefully not only just financially, but you're going to have to assist in babysitting and raising the child, even though you guys might not share the same home. I think that person should. Now, at what capacity should that man be able to say? That's what I'm a little bit confused about. That's what I don't really know. Should you be able to say, in order to have the baby, you got to have both signature of the father and the mother in order to have it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, how would that happen if...
Is there a signature? I don't think you need a signature.
Well, I mean, how are you going to say? I mean, it has to be some type of thing for you to say, it's all right for you to have this baby by me. What do you have to... What can you do that would put that in place if we said that you have a right to decide if you can have this child or not? Like, you have to... I mean, if you're going to say, if we're asking the question... should a male have rights in saying if you could have it, then what procedures can you put in place to make sure he has that right?
I don't think there is no procedure in place. So I'm going to read this comment because it goes along with what I think. So Kimberly after her comment, Kimberly says it's kind of tricky, and I believe it is.
I agree.
Jacqueline says, why even tell him you got pregnant if you know right off that's what you want to do? So that's my thing. So there's probably going to be a lot of women not in agreement to my opinion, but this is my opinion. My opinion to such is just kind of what Jacqueline says. Like, if you've already know what you're going to do, what is your purpose of telling the guy? And so if you know, because here's the thing, you're telling the guy in hopes of him being as ecstatic as you are. So that's your whole purpose of saying it. Your whole purpose of telling the guy is, hey, I'm pregnant, because you're ecstatic. You want him to be ecstatic. But you have to understand that in saying that, he may not be as ecstatic. So you're telling him because you want his response. I would assume that you're telling the guy that you're pregnant because you want him to be excited about it. You want him to assume some responsibility because it's now half yours, half his. So the notification is for that reason. But understand, in that notification, you're also giving him the right to decide, how he feels or how he truly want to deal with the situation. Mm-hmm. So that's not really fair. So a lot of what I've been hearing, and it only comes from women. I had heard this from men. What I hear from some women, not all, what I've heard from some women, they've said, well, the man knew what he was doing when they laid down together.
That's their go-to.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's always the response is, well, he knew what he was doing. He knew it was a possibility of having a baby when we got together. Absolutely so. Like, yes. But what's wrong with them having the opinion of, hey, I don't want a baby. Like, I just don't want a baby. It could just be, I don't want a baby right now. It could be, I don't want a baby with you.
It could be, I don't have the time to put forward raising a child. I can't afford it right now. I can't financially help you assist in raising this child. There could be a multiple, there could be a lot of reasons that a guy could come up with that doesn't necessarily have to be, I don't want a baby by you. It could just not be the right time. I could have something going on in my life that I can't be focused on raising a child right now. Stuff happens, right?
Yeah, so let's see. So Kimberly says it's tough because going through a pregnancy and birth, a woman is taking chances on dying that the man don't take. So he should understand that it's a decision the woman makes for many reasons. This one got me looking for my thinking cap. I know, Kim, it's rough.
That's a good answer, Kim. That's a good answer.
Let's see. Adrian says 2 people decide on pregnancy when they sleep together without a form of birth control.
Well, Adrian, I don't know. I don't know, Adrian. I understand, and as I said at the beginning, things happen. All right, you're not always being responsible when you decide to sleep with somebody. Like, I mean, I think we've all have been to a time where we've not been responsible. I don't know nobody that has been responsible every time. Like, sometimes stuff happens, and so what I'm saying to you is, you get in a situation, and I guess you do know that you could possibly have, get a baby out of that if you don't use birth control. But let's face it, things do happen. So, if the woman becomes pregnant and the guy is not in a financial situation to take care of him, are you still wanting to have that baby by that guy? If a guy tells you up front, listen, you can have the baby. I don't have any money. I don't have a car. I don't have a place to stay. I'm not financially stable. I'm not mentally stable to raise a child. Would you decide to say, okay, you've told me what you cannot help me with, and if you decide to have it because of maybe some of your medical reasons or whatever reasons, are you putting the guy in a situation where you're forcing him to be a father when he told you up front, I wasn't ready to be a father? And if he tells you that, do you get mad when he grow up to be a bad father?
I think women do, especially if they got in their mind that they want a baby, they want this baby. I think so. I think that once they formed an opinion of, I want to have this baby, there's nothing that you can tell them outside of, I want the baby too. Like, they don't really care about anything else. No, there isn't anything else that they're just like, oh, okay, I get it. No. So and again, that's the reason why I want to talk about this thing, because it's very trivial. It's a very trivial topic. And, I let me just tell you, in my opinion. So I've never been one of these things that happens. And so let's be very clear.
This has not been you.
I have not ever been a trap a man, keep a baby. I've never been I'm going to have a baby because I got to deal with this nigga for this 18 years.
Right.
I ain't never had that. So
But those things do happen, right?
Let's be very, very clear. And so I know that y'all watched our podcast because y'all are like, Shanetta always speak up for women, girl, women power, blah, blah, blah. Yes. But right is right and is wrong is wrong. And so because I've never been I want to have this baby to trap this guy. I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what that looks like. But I have been in situations with guys that has been in that situation. Outside of that, I've had men in my family, and I've been around men that has had to deal with a lifetime duty because of having sex with somebody unprotected, or having sex in the condom bust, or something has happened that
you have babies even though she's on birth control.
Yeah, something has happened where somebody that they were with got pregnant. It was a jump off. It was a side chick. It was something happened where they got pregnant and they had this baby, and here we are. So,
you want to read some comments?
I do.
Okay.
Let's see. So Adrian says again, she says, I think men should have a right, because if the baby comes to term, then they are financially responsible just like the woman. Wait,
what she say comes to term? What you mean?
Well, if she decides to carry the baby, go
so they should have a decision. Okay, Adrian.
Yes,
okay, all right.
Yes. Dominique says, I wouldn't have it. Me neither.
If there's some confusion up front, Dom just said she wouldn't have it. Okay.
Yes, and then Adrian says, nope, you can't get mad. Can't
get mad if he tell you up front he can't find it, he can't support it, and then you have it, knowing that he told you up front he was not in a financial position to afford it.
So Jacqueline says, Shaquila says, I agree with Jacqueline. I believe if a lady gets pregnant and the man doesn't want the child and she decides to have the child, she should not bother him or put him on child support. Don't force fatherhood on anyone, and don't make him suffer for not wanting to be a father. Once again, when we get off of here, don't y'all ass be on here talking about, I don't like, how they call me your wife. I don't like beloved wife, because she said, I just think that's just got the honest truth. I think that, hold on. So Dominique says, me either, Netta. I'm not trapping nothing. And just because a man asked me to have his baby during sex talk, I'm not open to that either.
Oh, I got a one over here. Spicy Girl, that's Andrea says, it depends on if you and the person are in a serious relationship. It's definitely a conversation that needs to be discussed by both parties. Now, if you guys are just screwing, then no.
Yeah, and I just don't think that hold on. So Adrian says, here's a baby is meant to be raised by both woman and a man. So yes, the man should be consulted. See, that is how I just strongly feel. I just don't feel like, and sometimes people just do sugar honey iced tea after just a spiteful situation. You just being spiteful. It could just be, I'm going to have this baby because I just want to be a part of this guy's life. But in just those reasonings, you can't, as Shaquila just said, and I believe, you can't force fatherhood on a man when he's already told you.
Listen,
it's like this. It's, in my opinion, it's like this. If I tell you, I'm not saying it's an example. If I tell you, hey, you and I meet and we're dealing with each other and we decide we want to do the yum yum bouncy bounce, and I tell you, hey, I've been diagnosed with HIV, and these are the things that will happen in having that, and then you decide to sleep with me, then you get HIV. Like, you really can't come back and get mad because I told you this you've been informed of this. I think that's the problem, is that women try to force men to do things that they just don't. They've already told you they don't want it in some form.
Well, let's be honest, okay? Because we're about being honest. There are women that out here that have babies and try to trap guys. Let's call a spade what it is. Mm-hmm. So when a guy tells you up front, hey man, I'm not in a position to, as I said, to afford a baby. I'm not in a position. My life is going too fast. I'm not in a position to raise a child. Then the first thing you do when you had a baby and the man told you not to have is you take your ass down into child support. That's the first place you go. That's first place you going. Yeah. And then you badmouth the dad and tell everybody that he's a crappy dad and he's sorry and yada yada yada, when he told you up front that you were going to be in this situation by yourself because he couldn't do these things. Now, there are these other situations where you just have sorry guys, but you gotta, like, I'm kind of like, you know what you're sleeping with. If you're sleeping with somebody and don't know what type of man he's going to be to your baby, then you got another thing coming anyway. Before you go jumping in the sack with somebody, you ought to make sure that if you guys are deciding to be intimate without protection and protection both ways, without you being on birth control or without him having some form of contraceptive, then you risk the chance of getting pregnant. So I do strongly believe. Now, I don't know how and how much of the guy's decisions should come into play, but I do feel like oftentimes the woman gets the right to have the baby, or the woman gets the right to terminate the pregnancy. But you are forced, when she decides to do what she wants to do, you are forced in being a father. Even if you didn't want him to be a father, you're forced. You're going to be forced. If you don't want to take care of it, spending time, you're going to take care of it financially, because she has things that she can go do to make you accountable to her financially, like child support. So I think that's an unfair situation. I do understand, a woman saying, I don't need you. I'm going to have this baby. I don't want nothing from you. But don't reverse that, because if you say that, then you live by those terms of, I don't need anything from you. I don't want anything from you. I want this baby because so-and-so, so-and-so. If you make that decision without me saying, okay, let's do it, I'm in it with you. I don't think
women mean that. I think they just do. I think they're saying that out of hopes of you changing your mind. Especially if they feel like it's a good guy. I think if they feel like this guy's a good guy, I think that they feel that, he's saying this now because I hadn't seen a woman say, I'm pregnant.
He's going to change his mind.
I'm pregnant. I don't want to have a baby, but then, I'm going to do it by myself. It's going to be, I'm pregnant. I've had this baby. And if you're a decent guy, they're going to try to come back around like, hey, so now the baby's here, can we try to arrange something? And as you just said, is that you are going to take care of this child unwanted, whether you want to or not. Like, child support is going to be sure, because again, like you said, that's kind of the first place. First, they're probably going to come to you and ask you, hey, can you help? Can you do this? And can you do that? And then after being asked that, then they're probably going to go to child support. Like, if they can't get what they feel like they want to get from you because now this child is here, child support office is coming. They're coming.
So maybe before you get an abortion, should the father have to sign off on that? Like, should the baby daddy have to sign off authorizing you to terminate the pregnancy? Then you'd have brothers going up there talking about, I got her pregnant, and cousins. I'm bringing my cousin up here to sign up because I want to have an abortion. And so that there has to be some.
But see, here's the thing. It's never a fight. It's never a fight to
have. So you don't think that there's some guys that want to have the baby, but the woman is wanting to terminate it? You don't think that situation happens?
Probably 1 out of 10.
It's not very often.
I think 1 out of 10. Of course, if it's 1 out of 10, and that's, to be honest with the hell, that's only in the fairy tale. The black books I read, that's only in fairy tale land. Like, it's probably 1 out of 10 men that's just like, I
want to have this baby by this woman. She doesn't want it,
because it's not really fair that it's not really fair that you get to decide as a woman, which is just the God telling us truth. I mean, I bear children, so I know, but it's not really fair that we kind of make them make that decision. That's why I said I ain't into no trapping shit. I ain't want to trap nobody. Like,
what if you just don't believe in abortions?
I don't believe in abortions.
Okay,
so let me just say that. I don't believe in abortions.
So basically,
I also wasn't down here screwing up. I wasn't screwing on everybody without a condom either.
So basically, if you don't believe in abortions and you don't believe in having them, then you would be in a situation where you would probably, if the guy didn't want to have it, you would be in a situation where you would make him have it, because you're saying, I don't believe in abortion, so I'm not going to terminate the pregnancy.
Well, it would just be in my case. Let me just say in my case. In my case, if I was dealing with somebody, and first of all, let me just be clear. If you around here just jumping on dicks with no protection, no penis, I'm just jumping on penises, no protection, that's a problem. But if we're having intercourse and I'm becoming comfortable enough for us to do it without condoms, then we should probably had already had a conversation about kids.
Absolutely.
Like, if we're around here screwing, if we're around here and I'm letting you raw dog me, we probably have already had a conversation about, I can get pregnant. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, there probably have already been a conversation to that.
Right.
Even if you just might jump off, we're going to have a conversation about that prior to, because that's something else. But, it is our body and we decide what to do with that. But I just didn't want women or people, not just women, I just didn't want people to continue saying, you know what you were doing when you laid down. You know, it's a possibility when you laid down. Yes, it's a possibility of getting pregnant. It's a possibility of AIDS. It's a possibility of herpes. It's a possibility of getting sprung. There's so many.
There's a lot of possibilities.
It's a lot of possibilities when you lay down with somebody. It does not mean everything's going to happen. There are a lot of possibilities. However, it's not guaranteed to happen. So here you are, 18, not even 18, because we have kids that are over 18, we still take care of. But, you know, here you are in this thing. And so I'm just saying, I just think out of fairness that when men should have an opinion. They really should.
All right, you got some comments on Facebook.
Let's see. Let me go back up. It's a lot. Tasha said the first stop. She's talking about your child support.
Okay. The first stop at the child support.
Kimberly says, yes, it's a defense mechanism to say I got it and I don't need help. I believe that. Lachey says, honestly, at the end, both need to take the child's well-being into consideration. Even though most women don't want to abort their child, it's always a bigger picture that the man and woman should, a talk definitely should happen. You're right, Adrian. Adoption is always an option.
Yes.
My girl T says, it's a woman's body, therefore it's her choice. Point blank, period. Men should not be so careless on knowing her beliefs or having that conversation about what if. So that's what I just said.
I know Tara's going to get on here with that that BS. She always on that BS. You can count on Tara to come on with some.
She my girl.
But here's the other thing is, ladies, do you want to be tied to someone that don't want to be tied to you?
Let me tell you something.
Do you want to have a baby by somebody that every time you call to ask for something? This Negro is saying no, because I didn't want the baby by you anyway.
I don't want nothing that don't want me. Let me just say that for the record.
You want, and you're going to have to at least, and people say just for 18 years, but you know, on college, you're still going to have to go to these places where you see these people. So you're going to be tied to these people for a while. Do you want to be tied to somebody until your child passes or until you pass with somebody that don't want to be tied to you? That's the other thing. Like, I know you thinking that you can have a baby by him, and you know he gonna live like the daddy live, and you know you might have an opportunity to be with him later because now he got to be tied to me. But do you want to be in a lifelong commitment with somebody that don't want to be in a lifelong commitment with you?
Let me tell you something. Y'all dumb as hell. I'm telling you, I don't want nothing or nobody that don't want me in the same light or better. If you don't want me in the same light or better, I don't want you.
Dominique is saying something on Facebook Live.
Let's see. Go back. Dominique said, it's a man out here that would ask you to have their baby while everything is peaches and cream, and then would turn around and tell their family and friends and told her I didn't want their baby.
Oh, boy.
People do that? What you mean?
That's what Dominique is saying. They ask them, have my baby.
Oh, like in the midst of?
In the midst of.
I want you to have
my baby. I want you to have my baby. Dominique, that's sex talk. Don't fall for that.
Yeah, like when they ask, whose is it? You're like, it's yours, and it's really not theirs.
Because once he owe God, he ain't going to remember you no more. You know what old God means, don't you?
Yeah, we know what that means.
Oh, God.
Shut up. Anyway, Lachey says, yes, it's all right, Shanetta. And Adrian say it louder. That's just really the truth. Like, listen, now I'm not going to lie. Let me just say this. I'm not going to lie. Like, back in the day, way back in the day.
Way back in the day. I
ain't going to lie, act like I tricked somebody, because then it was like $300, $350.
You just
so I ain't going to act like I ain't lie for somebody, but like, listen, you're going to have to go and give me that. You have to go and drop that cash off, because I'm pregnant.
And you wasn't pregnant?
And I came up here to Little Rock and go to University Mall.
And you will drop that $500?
Drop that. Listen, you're going to have to come drop this money off, because ain't no cash app, because we ain't had no cash app. We ain't had no... Listen, I'm going to have to come meet you. You're going to have to go and give me that money, because I got to go to Little Rock. And
How many 500s did you get?
Enough.
Monica's saying something. She said men have the responsibility to also assure that they do not get a woman pregnant that they don't want to be with tied to as well. So, I mean, I get what you're saying, Monica. We share that responsibility, and knowing that whoever you do the yum bouncy bounce, if you do it with no protection, you could possibly come up pregnant. So yeah, you do. But after that,
I can't believe so crazy.
After that, Monica, do you want to be tied with somebody that do not want to be tied with you. Now, if you don't believe in terminating pregnancy and having
I don't believe in
abortions,
abortions.
So this is a non and void question for you because you don't believe in it. If you get pregnant 100 times, you're going to have 100 kids because you don't believe in abortion.
Yeah, but outside of having 100 kids, this is where those conversations take place. So let me just say this. All of my babies, they're blessings. I love them. It wasn't no trapping shit because I wasn't so in love with them niggas where I was just like, oh, let me get pregnant so I can keep this. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Wow. No, it wasn't no let me get pregnant so I want to keep this nigga around me. No, it was we was screwing. I'm fertile. I'm pregnant.
Oh, boy.
Go on about your business.
Adrian said, say it louder out.
Yes, Dominique says yes. Kimberly says, Pine Bluff, drop that iron. That's what I'm...
Drop that paper.
Drop that paper. They want asking for proof or nothing back then. Let's see. Lachey says that sex talk mug.
They gonna say anything. That's what I'm trying to... Oh, they gonna say anything while you
right
up
after
in
you're
it.
done and you be like, hey, you remember you asked me to have your baby? They're gonna be like, what? I said that? Oh, okay, anyway. Adrian says, LOL, a yum yum bouncy bounce. Adrian, that is my PG talk. Dominique says, I would never fall for the sex talk level, but hey, it's a few who will and have. Will and have what, Dominique? Tell me that.
Fall for that sex talk. That's what you're saying.
Okay,
fall
yeah.
For the sex talk.
Sure does. Anyway, Jacqueline says children are a blessing, but repeatedly having kids by men that don't want to deal with them is trifling. Then asking to stay for assistance is repeatedly as crazy as hell.
Hey, Jacqueline. Hey.
T says I was always taught mama's baby, daddy's maybe, so I had my children never applied any pressure on the sperm donor because they're mine. Never thought I would have kids. We already hit her. We're gonna bring her back twice. Never thought I would have kids without being married, but married men don't stick around either. Men don't value family anymore and quick to baby mama a female.
We need to bring Tara on our live because I know she's gonna give us some drama. I got.
You remember bring her on our live?
Bring her on our live and see if she. Cause
T, are you someplace?
She always be talking that
you can
trash,
get on the live?
man. She always be bringing that dumb stuff.
Listen, let me see. Kim says, Netta, you just have the game. None of the young girls get paid now. Listen, y'all better start. Let me tell you something.
That 500.
The only thing about it now is if y'all go to the abortion clinic now, it costs some more money. So it don't cost that little change no more. It costs a little bit more money. And now you got to deal with the protesters. Now you got to deal with the protesters down there.
Them outside.
And you're going to see some people putting you on their Snap video and shit. And then somebody going live. And see, back in my day, you used to get them a fake name. Like you can give them a fake name and just go and get abortion. Now when you go get abortion, you have to go for like a consultation. But they won't even let you do it the same day. You have to go for like a consultation. And then you leave and they give you some time to think about it. And then you have to go back.
T-Tara, where you at, girl? T-Tara.
Anyway, so then you have to go back and they give you a date and now you got the abortion. See, y'all, listen, it's hard on a pimp these days. Y'all can't just go and be like,
Bustin' Loose 2 says, hello, what's the topic tonight? The topic tonight is, for those of you who have just tuned in, we're talking about should a man have a say on whether a woman can have an abortion? Should a man have a say in if a woman can terminate the pregnancy? Should he be able to say?
So I will say this, not negative, because it's not a negative connotation, but the only thing that I've seen people say is that men knew what they were doing when they were laying down. That's it. That's their only explanation.
That's y'all go-to. Y'all ain't got nothing else to say.
I've never really seen anybody say it otherwise. I've just kind of seen them say, well, men know what they were laying down when they were laying down. Yeah, but do you not really think that, do you not think that you're as Jacqueline said, I think earlier, like you're forcing somebody to, you're trying to force somebody to fatherhood. You're trying to make somebody do, regardless of if they're an existing father or not. If they're a new father, you cannot force nothing on people. You just can't do that. What you say?
That person said something and I'm trying to run for office. Who was that, Latasha?
That's how she said, I'm trying to run for
And T-Tara, and I'm nappy headed. So what that mean? Put the camera up to the ceiling. I want to hear your voice. You don't have to put your face on there, Tara.
Kimberly says, I'm a hush on this line now before a ninja get cussed out about a refund of $5.
So, Kimberly, you asked for that $500 too?
Drop that paper.
Bustin' Loose 2 says, of course, a man should have a say.
Tell us why you think he should have a say so, Bustin' Loose. Let's see. Adrian says, men do value family. He said, we have to stop this mess of devaluing the black man. I know several black men who take care of their families. # stop the hate. So let me just say this. I agree, because my husband, as he get on my damn nerves, let me just say this, he get on my nerves as a husband, but he is an amazing, amazing father. Like, seriously, like, as an example of showing my son what a man's supposed to look like, what a man's supposed to do, you know, it's just kind of the common courtesy. Like, he still opens doors for me, and, you know, he get up to kind of see him go to work, and we have, you know, there are just things that young men need to see nowadays. And my daughters, like, he really kind of show the daughters and show the girls like what loves look like from a man, because I'll never want them to go out feeling like they can accept anything off a man because they didn't get it in a house from their father.
Absolutely.
No, sir. Like, understand,
Absolutely.
when you come to my girls, like, understand this, when you come to my girls, yeah, you really gonna have to come to them strong, because they know what it's like to be loved, to get genuine love from a man. So they ain't gonna be half stepping. So
Bustin'
yeah.
Loose too said, you ask him why, because a man is half responsible. It's his seed. So,
I agree.
So that's why he
It's
said he should have.
And the reason why I'm agreeing with him, because when you take your ass to the child support office, child support is putting men on child support because they're saying you share half of the financial responsibility of this child. So why don't they get the chance to make half of the decision of what happens with this child? Whether it's having the baby, whether it's having an abortion, whether it's putting the baby up for adoption. What is it? Like, what's the difference in it? You know what I'm saying? You can't use it for 50% of this part, but not use 50% of the other part.
Crystal Rose says that part. What do you mean when you say that part? What exactly are you saying?
I was talking about with being in the house.
Oh,
like,
so you okay? That okay?
yeah,
Me.
like,
right.
you know, there are. I know it's so bad, you know, because T kind of said, you know, black men, they want a baby mama, a woman, but it's really some men out here that's providing for them, for their families, marrying young ladies, trying to create a family, understand, even if whatever their previous life was, I don't give a damn about none of that. Whatever your previous life was, your present life is something different. So we have some black men that's really out here trying to make wives and being good fathers.
All right, so let's talk about after this woman decides to have the baby and you've asked her not.
Ooh.
Are there some women out here? Are there some really bitter women out here that makes it really hard on guys to have a relationship with their children? There are women out here who let's just say it. There are some sorry dudes that just don't take. Ladies, you got that. There are some sorry people out here, guys that does not take care of their responsibility. But we also have to talk about the women who use some of these children as pawns because they haven't gotten over the man, or the man has decided to move on and they've maybe cheated on them and went on. So now you all mad and you all don't want the man to see the baby and making it difficult for the man to have a relationship on the baby. And a lot of times men feel like, I can't win. I cannot win. So I've asked you at the beginning that I wasn't ready for this baby, but you've put me in a situation where you've made me be a father. So then you just make my life a living hell for the rest of my life. You just be difficult. Mm-hmm. If I don't do this, I can't see the baby. If I don't do this, I'm going back to child support. There are a lot of bitter women out here that are doing this bitter things. And I'm not saying, I'm agreeing with you, ladies. Some of these guys deserve to have child support in their life. If they're not trying to do right by their children and be good fathers, be good examples for these children, they deserve whatever comes to them. But there are men who are trying to have a relationship, who are trying to raise their children, and there are women that are bitter for whatever reason. Whatever reason y'all broke up or y'all didn't make it. So now you're using the baby as a pawn. That's just as worse or just as bad as making this father be a father when he told you up front he wasn't ready to have a baby. You have more comments on Facebook?
Yeah, tell us what you think about that, and I'll comment. So Lachey says applause, and Crystal says with the man being present in the home. That's what she was kind of saying.
I got you, Crystal. I got you.
Dominique said most of these men are not role models anyway, and have all kind of issues that I'm not willing to deal with for 18 plus years.
Well, that's something, Dominique. Who's that? Dominique that said that. That's something, Dominique, that you really should look. You should investigate this man first of all for you sleep with him. But sometimes you don't know him long enough. And I said sometimes we having fun and it happens. So when that happens and you get pregnant, now you really need to investigate. Do I want to be tied with this joker that don't that don't pay his taxes, that don't pay his tithes, that don't see none of his other kids. Now, if he got other kids and you ain't seen none of them, you don't need to be having no baby by him. And you ain't seen none of the other kids. You don't see him ever having his other children, so why you gonna go want to have a baby? You think your baby gonna be different? Your baby ain't gonna be no different than the other little babies.
They babies be special.
Your baby ain't gonna be no different from little Josephine that I had. That's 3. You ain't never seen little Josephine.
That's my dumb ass.
So little Rodney, he ain't gonna be no better from little Josephine. So you have to investigate these guys, see if that's what you want to do, guys. You don't really have any choice. So once you sleep with, I guess what, like the lady's saying, you don't need to sleep with nobody that you don't want to be your baby mama. That's what it's coming down to.
That's basically, I mean, because they're basically saying that, you know, when you have sex, when you're having sex, you know what the possibility could be. So stop having sex with people that you don't want to get. Listen, my mom used to say, so every time my mom would get off the phone with my dad or my sister's dad, she would turn to us and say, be careful who the hell you had kids by. I'm like, God,
I mean, she ain't like none of y'all daddies.
No, she used to say it all the time. I promise. Yeah, just be careful you had kids by. And I was like, what does that even mean? Now, listen, I get it. So let me see. I'm going to read some comments and then kind of expand a little bit on what Brian said. So Tasha says, I'm so grateful that I've never had to wrestle mine to do anything. That is a blessing.
That's a blessing, Tasha.
Kimberly says, never. She says, shit, come get a little baby so I can keep pushing. Kimberly says, I've never kept my kids from nor bashed their dads to them. But listen, little Riley would grow up and see daddy or mama is shit.
Right.
Yeah, and here's what I tell women.
That part, Kimberly, that part.
Here's what I tell women all the time is that, because I didn't believe in doing it with my children's father, but I just don't think that you have to bash that man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't think that happens, because when the kids get to a certain age, they'll be able to see life themselves. And so I do understand, because I'm a very protective mother. So as a protective mother, we do a lot to try to protect our kids' feelings against their fathers that's not as active, not as involved. We try to protect their feelings a lot. So we don't want them to be hurt, but it does not take for you to say, see, your daddy told you he was going to come pick you up. Your daddy told you he was going to pick you up.
I bet you went and got his other kids.
I bet you he went to go get such and such. And so all that stuff is like, listen, I promise you there will become a time.
Bitter women.
There will become a time where that child would get to understand or see the relationship for themselves, good, bad, or indifferent. It doesn't take us to do the bashing and make them look bad. Like, because honestly, that I'd be embarrassed. Like, I'm embarrassed hell to just even know people know who my kids' fathers are. Nevertheless, to even talk bad about them, because that's embarrassing. Because now people are looking at my side of my head like, damn, nigga, that bad? You got kids by him? Like, I'm not telling my.
That's a really good point. That's a representation of you ladies. When you have to bash them and call them sorry and call them trifling. How were you when you laid up with him? Were you sorry and trifling because you laid up with a sorry and trifling dude? So that's a representation of you. I didn't really think about it that way, but that is a representation of you when you talk bad. It's almost like when we break up, all right? What's the number one thing that women be saying about these dudes when they break up with them?
They pee little.
Take your little pee today. Well, you've been with me for 36 years, but now we break up. So that's a representation of you when you have to bash your baby dad and talk about how sorry he is and how trifling he is and he don't pick up Junior. The man probably told you up front he didn't want to have no baby, but you ain't want to listen. You was trying to trap him, and you had the baby, and now this is what's happening. You're in a bad situation.
Mm-hmm. Well,
got a couple more comments.
Let's see. Hold on. I'm sorry. Okay, Kimberly says, no, you don't. But if they're a crackhead nipping in the bud before he...
Kim is on one, ain't she?
What is wrong with you?
Kim is tripping tonight.
She says, no, you don't. But if they're a crackhead nipped in the bud before you saw the hairs off their heads, she said, I'm just keeping it real. Dominique says, I would never keep my children away from their father. I don't care who he's with, because I'm going to be outside and he would be inside with them kids. We outside. T says, women want a family if they have a baby, so it may make some bitter because they expect the man to step up. And you're right. Don't have sex with anyone you don't want to have kids with, because most men don't like condoms but don't like kids. They are equally responsible for the conception of a child. But however they want to say so, on if the child is kept or not. We have to stop this irresponsible behavior.
One last one.
Kim Sampson, I'm enjoying this. That's all. Listen, let's talk about the after effects. So, I have been on both ends. One thing I'm blessed to say is I ain't never been no baby mama. Like, I've always been a woman that my child's father have kids by. There's a difference. Like, baby mamas kind of be on that drama.
Right.
I'm in my feelings. I'm not, that's not me. I am going to say, hey, listen, come pick your child up, drop them back out and to be picked up. This is a medicine that they're currently taking. That's it. Because
you ain't gonna be saying, don't take them over Sarah's house.
I don't have time.
Don't have this so-and-so by my baby. Mm-hmm. Don't have this B. That's y'all their favorite name. Don't have this B around my baby. Don't bring this person around my baby.
Mm-hmm. I don't do
they
that.
mistreating my baby. That's the first thing. My baby told me she ain't wiping her nose in the last time she was there.
Listen, I'm not that person, so I don't understand it. So I don't understand it from that part. However, because I am a woman and I do have children, I could tell what a baby mama behavior is like. And that's just a behavior. Like, as my husband just said, now it's a problem. And so what they don't understand is here's what I try to make women understand. When your child's father or ex-husband have moved on and they've married someone, the wife understands that I accepted my spouse alongside his children, and they're a package. They're a package deal. And a lot of times what the women don't understand, because they be so in their feelings, not the wives or the significant others, what they don't understand is a lot of the things, or most things that the children will get comes a lot from the woman. Not saying the man is just garbage, but we most times make them be more involved for different things, because there are just some things that, men can't do for younger kids that, a significant other can. So that just make it want to have it difficult on everybody. But I think the more frustrating piece is stop embedding these kids with their parents ain't shit. Like, stop embedding their kids with, your
dad ain't shit.
Your dad ain't shit. He, especially if it was one of the ones that has said, listen, I don't want a baby. Like, I don't want a baby. I don't want to, I don't want this baby, or I don't want the baby by your ass. It ain't being I don't want the baby.
Right.
I just don't want the baby by you for whatever reason it is. So now that has happened and taken place, now you're forcing this behavior on this guy, and it's just like, damn. So now here we are in society, here going, the African-American man is not taking care of his kids. No.
He didn't told you up front.
So I'm about to tell that part. So nobody tells that part of, listen, we had a conversation. This baby was conceived. When the baby was conceived, he told me that he did not want to have a. Nobody tells that part. Oh, they say he's sorry as fuck. He don't do nothing.
They ain't telling none of that.
Because as much as I don't believe in abortions, I didn't have any of my kids to trap no nigga. Let's just say that I didn't do that. And each child that I had, I wanted, and I kept it. So, and took care of them, shit, hook or crook. Nevertheless, it was done. But you don't expect, I didn't have an expectation of him. Hell, if he would have said, no, I ain't gonna take care of the baby, I'm like, oh, okay, well, fuck you, I'm gonna take care of it too.
Emmy Kovic says, speaking nothing but the truth.
Who? Oh. I mean, it's just what it is. So, now, I guess our concern is the after effects. Like, what is the after effect? We already kind of talked about that, right?
Yeah, so the after effect of you saying is that you force somebody to be. Now, there are two guys that they're the type of guys that say, hey, man, because I don't want my seed out here doing bad, even though I told this female that I didn't want any babies, I got to step up. I mean, I still have to step up. It's not the baby's fault that, the two people had sex without protection, and so you don't want your child out here just being alone. So even though you said up at the beginning, I didn't want to have any children, and you told them you didn't have time, or for whatever reason you told them, there's a guy that's going to step up and just say, you know what, I'm going to take care of these responsibilities, I'm going to do it. And then there are the ones that say, flip her, I told her, I ain't doing nothing. Mm-hmm. Those are the two choices. When you say the after effect, are you talking about after effect for the guy, or are you saying the after effect for the lady? Which one are you asking?
Well, I guess both. What is the after effect for both? Because we know what kind of, I guess.
The after effects for the ladies, you just end up, it's never right. It's never, most of the time. Now, there are the exceptions to the rule, But most of the time, if a man tell you that he ain't ready for no baby and he ain't want no baby, then and you have the baby anyway, it's probably majority of the time is not going to be right because you're forcing this man to be involved with something that he didn't want to be involved in. And yeah, you can say, well, he shouldn't have slept with him. That's exactly right. If I give you AIDS, you shouldn't have slept with me, but I didn't give you AIDS. So you can't have it both ways. Stuff happens. It's never going to be right if that happens. So, if you're one that don't want abortions,
procreation is something else.
You probably should either let that man know that, hey, if I get pregnant, I'm having this baby, or have some birth control.
But that's the truth. That's what I'm saying. Everybody want to do the yum yum bouncy bounce. Everybody want to screw, but nobody want to talk.
In the building.
Nobody wants to talk about what could happen in that. So there needs to be conversation of sexually transmitted disease. I tell people all the time, if you give me some shit, you're gonna die. So if you give me something, you're gonna die. So there needs to be conversations of that. If I get pregnant, this is what's going to happen. So if I get pregnant, I'm probably gonna keep it, or I may have whatever it is. There's nothing wrong with communication. Have an open dialogue. We are all adults, and a lot of times we're put in situations where you're kind of stuck in those situations because you didn't communicate. There's no lines of communication there. Let's see. Kimberly says you have two. Hold on. Dominique says my kids have a great father, thank God, but he trapped me though.
Dominique says she got trapped.
What? Oh no. Kimberly says you have two types of women. You have the women. You have the I'm gonna take care of my baby woman. Then there's the bust your windows out the car woman. Shit just happened. And then she says, true. Listen, I don't play with nobody's property. I don't want to mess with nobody's property. I ain't busting no windows.
Too old for that.
Not really.
Too old for that. Too old for that.
So yeah, so if you guys are done, we think we're gonna move on to our next topic. This is pretty hot. So y'all ready? And if y'all have some more to the first topic, let us know, and we'll kind of expand on it, go back to it if we need to. So what's your next
second topic? All right, this is the one. If you have kids around you, as I said up front, please remove your children because this is for grown ears only. So if you are around children watching this on your Facebook Live or your Instagram Live, you probably want to get them out of the room. So I read somewhere where it said that couples that watch porn together, those couples stay together than regular couples who don't.
What do you mean they stay together?
They stay together. It says couples that watch porn together stay together longer. Is it healthy for couples to watch porn together? Ladies, what do you think about that? Fellas, what do you think about that? Are you into watching porn with your sex partner? I want to hear you. Dominique, I want to hear you. Kim, you've been on it all day. Tara, I want to hear you. Come in. Tell me what you think. I think Adrian is gone, but if you're still on, let's talk about it.
The problem lies when your significant other do things without you that y'all can do together. I like porn. I love porn. Mm-hmm. I don't like watching men and women porn. I don't like watching it, but I love porn. I just like it. And so I don't know if that means that I don't know if it's will make you stay in a relationship longer, but I think
I was just saying that's the basis of me starting this conversation.
But I think that healthy. The misconception and the problem lies when sexual activity, when it comes to people thinking they're supposed to do it by themselves. Like,
so you don't want your man watching porn by himself?
No, it's what I'm saying is that's where the problem lies. The problem lies because people think that sexual activities are supposed to be done by themselves. Like, I've seen when that Rose thing came out, all these women was like, I got to get that, or whatever. But you don't supposed to use that in place of your spouse, of your mate.
Right,
so people kind of get the whole sexual experience a little confused. Like it's very confusing. Like, anything that we do as it relates to intimacy, this is something that's supposed to be done together. So if we're doing it together, whether it's something you like or I like, it's some shit we do together, but you're never supposed to do anything to replace your mate. And that's when all those things becomes a problem, when it's seemingly like it's replacing.
And I think communication is the real big factor with it all, because if you talk to your woman or if you talk to your man and you ask that question, you should be able to talk about what she enjoys. of what he enjoys. Communication is the key. If you're really, really close and cool with your partner, you should be able to have that conversation. What do you enjoy? What do you like doing? Because you might know you guys may have the same common interests. I may like doing whatever you like doing, but because some men are afraid to ask their woman and vice versa, some women are afraid to ask their man, you don't really get to experience the full pleasure of your sexual experience because you're not sharing this thing together. You're not communicating about what they like, how you like it. How does this feel? What do you enjoy? If you have fetish, was it fetish? Fetish? If you have a fetish, what is it? We might have the same fetish. Communication is key. You got some people chiming in, right?
Kimberly says, I don't know, y'all. I think porn is much like other things in a relationship for spice or likes. She also says, I just don't want to wake up and you full-fledged jacking off to porn all the time.
Kim, will you watch that with him? Answer that question, Kim. Will you watch that porn with your partner? If that's what he likes to do.
She is so retarded.
Yeah. If that's what he likes to do, are you into watching that with him? Or is it porn nasty? Is it a turnoff? That's what the question is, Kim. Answer that.
She's so stupid.
I think Dominique said yes, right? Dominique said yes.
She says Dominique says I use my toys with my spouse all the time and we name them.
Oh boy.
You name your toys?
Boy. Dominique off the chain, ain't she?
I don't think I'll name them. It's just like, hey, hold on, wait a minute. You get that over there. Yeah. But yeah, so I guess it's up to the Kimberly says, yes, we can watch together for sure. Yes.
Good. Yeah,
I mean, it's up to the I'm not going to even say up to the people, but we seem to be so behind on the times as it relates. So here's what's so crazy is that we understand that we have to procreate to create life. Like that's what we do. You're intimate, your husband, especially if you're grown or you're having sex. Like it's almost seemed like it's a hidden thing. Like
people don't talk about it.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, we can't talk about that. Oh my gosh, no, that's so insulting. I'm not saying this.
You know what? I will say this. My wife and I talk about everything. It's not anything that we can't talk about. And we talk about we're not judgmental about our past. So she and I, there's not anything that we can't talk about. Is there anything that we can't talk about, babe? I don't think there's anything that we don't talk about.
No, I don't think so. She says I named him so he'll know which one to get. The fuck?
It's crazy.
So Dominic, you just have your toys out like are they just out like planned? Like what is that like?
I thought Dominique was a good old church girl, Netta.
What is it like? Do you just have them all out at one time and be like Kimberly says, man, these people been swinging since the 1800s, but we don't want to watch porn. I don't know about that swinging shit. Like I don't know about that. Like yeah.
Nah, ain't no swinging going on around
here.
Yeah,
like
we ain't doing that.
Ain't no swing swapping and shit. We ain't doing no swapping and all that. But I guess it's just like swapping or swinging would just be like having a menage a trois, right? It would not look like having threesome.
That's not.
I think
swinging is different. Swinging is when you swap partners.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, but the only thing that's missing in having a threesome it would be a guy. So it's kind of the same thing.
Well, I mean, you could have a threesome with two guys and a girl. So I mean, it don't have to be two women.
I'm just saying that the fourth person, it's only just one person that's missing. Like if you're just switching couples, I guess.
Yeah, but you should be able to talk to your mate about anything, and you just never know what your mate is into sexually unless you have that conversation. You should be able to have that conversation about what your sexual partner likes and what they don't like, and you know that comes with just communication and knowing what your partner. And if you're interested in pleasing your partner, you should be open to having that conversation. I'm not saying that you should be open to do everything they're asking, but it should be important enough for you to know what your partner likes because you want sex to be enjoyable for them. So you should be open to listening to their desires.
Yeah, but okay, so hold on. So Kimberly says, but they do it. So yeah, I'm going to stick to
two guys and a girl is trained. That's what I said.
We ain't on that yet. You got too excited. We ain't even on that comment yet.
Go ahead.
Calm down. She says, Kimberly says, but they do it, yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna stick to watching porn when I get my man. You talking about people do what? Swinging? They do. People are swingers. Like, they have swingers clubs here in Arkansas. I've been told they have swingers clubs in Arkansas. Let's see. Becky says they call that a train. Two guys.
I told you that, Netta. You said that wasn't true. I told you that a long time ago.
No, I think a train. I mean, we used to call, a girl getting a train ran on her when it was multiple guys, but now shit is a threesome. It's considered to be a threesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dominique says, no, they're not out. I have a special place for them. Okay. Kimberly's laughing at Becky. No, I just think, listen, I just hate that people feel like things are supposed to be like, replaced. Like, even toys like rabbits and dildos, those things are supposed to be utilized with your mate. Those things are not supposed to be used by themselves. But we've gotten so just kind of in the realm of, ooh, I can't wait to use this. Oh, I can't do this because my man gonna be out of town for the day. Like, that's not what that's for. I'm not saying you can't use it by yourself, because you can, but I'm just saying, like, that's not what that's just particularly for. Let me see. Dominique says, I'm very open in the bedroom with my mate, but you would never know. And no one's supposed to know. Like, nobody looks at me and says, oh my gosh, Netta's just the biggest freak. Oh my gosh, I bet she's a virgin. Nobody. I don't think really people just kind of look at that. It's just, I think that, I don't know what he's talking about. Here's a question what I want to ask. It's kind of on topic to this. Do you guys believe in having a poly relationship, polyamorous, or just a poly relationship, or
explain that to people who don't know what that is.
Like, I've seen people, I'm so into TikTok right now, but I've seen people that are just a polyamorous couple. So they have, like, a woman has 2 wives. I've seen a woman that has a wife and a transgender wife. I've seen a man that has 2 wives. I've seen, like, maybe a guy, I think the guy that has 3 wives on TikTok. Like, there's just people that are open. They have the life of their several mates being in the house with them, and all of them are okay.
Well, I can't do that. Hell, it's too hard to keep one happy, let alone trying to keep 2 or 3 happy. Like, it's a job. It's something that you have to work at. And so to have that multiplied by 2 or 3 things, 2 or 3 women, I'm not with that.
You don't think that's good?
This is my opinion. That's my opinion.
So what do y'all think about a polyamorous relationship? Let's see. Dominique says it's not for me. Kimberly says, no. She said, no, one person is enough for me.
Yeah.
So I guess, so then what about an open relationship, or open marriage, or open relationship? What do y'all think about that? What is your synopsis of having an open relationship?
Open relationships mean you can go and be with other people.
Yeah,
and
open relationship
break up.
Open relationship just basically means that you're with your spouse, your mate, or whoever. However, you're open to them. Nevertheless, you guys know that you're messing with other people. Somebody has one, or did have one, and they basically, I think it was Monique. Monique had one, and
that was rumored. I don't know when.
No, she talked about it in an interview. She did. She talked about it.
I thought I remember hearing parts of that interview, and at one point in time I thought it was, but then on a different interview I thought she was saying that wasn't the case, but I was still confused about how she did that.
Let's see. So Dominique says it's just not for me. Kimberly says, she would have read that. Becky says, I'm open to it, but probably not anyone in Little Rock. Why nobody in Little Rock? Why are you open to it, Becky? And then why nobody in Little Rock? Dominique says, I don't like to share. And then T says, I think the poly stuff is just people supplementing where their partners lack. I agree. A lot of times that's a lot of why there's a lot of infidelity, because it's you kind of going out there because it's something that you're lacking in your mate. Like, unless you just unless you just a dog ass person, you just out here cheating just to be cheating. But it's I agree. Let's see. Brenda says no to the polyamorous relationship. Brenda.
Yeah, that's what she said no to.
Hey, twin. She says, hey, y'all, I'm late. Let's see. Kimberly says, I'm in an open relationship while single now. Why get a mate to have an open relationship? Nah, bro, we closing this ship. What's you? So you're saying, Kimberly, you're single right now, but you're saying you're in an open relationship because you're single.
Right. That's what she's saying.
Why would you get a mate to have an open relationship? Why would you give a mate to have an open relationship? What do you think about open relationship, babe?
No, I thought I answered that. No, I ain't with that. Either we gonna be together, we ain't. Ain't no sense in having an open relationship. We can just not be together. You ain't got to be with somebody to have a. What's the purpose of being together and you got an open relationship? We can just not be together. So
some people are together because they really love that person. They don't want nobody else to have them, but they kind of want to show their wild oats too.
Yeah, that's not for me. That's not for me.
Dominique says, I'm not open to that either. That's why I'm single now. You can't force me to be a sister wife. A sister wife?
I guess it's like having the poly thing. The sister wife is like the poly thing.
Listen, your pockets got to be deep. Like, deep. Deep. She says what he said. I don't know. I agree with my husband. Like, listen, it is difficult for me to keep him in line and keep myself sane alongside our children. That's a lot. So to do those things for another person,
and you going out handling your business with somebody else, that's no, we ain't doing none of that. We ain't doing none of that.
That's a lot. I can't. I don't know. But I guess so those. Okay, so I think we only heard from one person, Kimberly and Dominique, when we asked about the porn thing.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you guys watch porn, or do you think that's a sin? Because here's what I heard before. I've heard people say they don't watch porn because, when they're intimate, when they become intimate in the bedroom, they feel like they have to do things that they do on porn. Some people say that. Some people say that they will have to, people will be visioning that when they, thinking of somebody else because they're watching porn. So I've heard people say that as well. They said what now?
They don't watch porn. They don't like their mate watching porn because they feel like that they're into their sexual situation and they'll be visualing that rather than you paying attention to what you're doing with your lady or your guy.
That sounds like some insecure shit.
That's what I heard them say.
Becky says, I feel that most men in Little Rock are not mature enough to handle it.
What is she talking about? The open relationship, or is she talking about the poly thing?
The poly thing. She said that most men in Little Rock are not mature.
Oh, that's why she said she got to have somebody out of town, because she feel like most of the guys in Little Rock can't handle it.
I don't know. What you got?
That's it. That is it. So are we wrapping that question up? Are you done with it? Do you have anything else you want to discuss?
No, I guess that's really it. I think we did a very good job on the first topic of, what was that?
Baby mama, a man having a choice to have an opinion in a woman trying to terminate a pregnancy.
Yes.
That was a great topic.
It was an amazing topic. And I hope that you guys learned something from that and understand. Listen, we are not... I'm not against bashing women or any of that. You guys know that I'm a woman myself, but I'm also a realist. And I just believe in situations and things just being real, just being on some real stuff. And to kind of further close out that conversation, I just do believe that, people have a decision and everybody should have the same mutual decision as it relates to a pregnancy or a child coming into the world. That's just my opinion. That's what I believe. I don't think anybody can make me feel any differently. I am always open to getting other people's perspective, but that's just what I feel that, a man should be allowed that. So they won't feel so forced into fatherhood. And then here you go have to be a single woman or a single mother because you basically force somebody to do something that they don't want to do. So that it's not fair. It's a lot of topics and a lot of things that men aren't fair on, get treated fairly on. That we'll talk about later on in the podcast. But yeah, that's kind of my synopsis of that first one.
Kim we're going to read Kimba, and then we'll shout out the people who have participated on our live. Kim
let's see. Kim says, see, I'm grown. These kids leave. I put porn on, and then boom, back to Disney once they're back. Listen, I remember when we were younger, we had the VCR tapes, and we would always, I don't know if y'all remember this lady, but I can never forget her because she was like a pretty porn star to me. But my mom used to watch it. You remember Vanessa? She was like Hispanic.
No.
It was a lady named Vanessa. She was like one of the biggest porn stars back in like the 80s, early 90s. And yeah, we just one time just kind of get one of those tapes that didn't have a title on there. Just put it in. And yeah, that's when I was first seeing porn. Yep. She says, just know what I'm missing from Facebook. I'm watching porn and tends to my... Okay, we'll keep that in mind.
All right, so shout out to everybody who...
we'll keep that in mind, Kim.
Who participated in our comments. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Becky. Shout out to Dominique. Shout out to Adrian, Twin, Brenda, T. Tara. Even though you didn't want to come on my live.
She said her hair wasn't done.
Her hair wasn't done. Keep your hair done, T. And then on Facebook, shout out to, what's that,
Instagram.
M.E. Kovic. Bustin' Loose #2. Monica Alston and Andrea. Shout out to everybody. Listen, we are not going to leave this up. If you want to go back and hear this podcast again, all you have to do is search for any podcast source. You can go on Spotify, Apple. What's the name of the podcast that we up? Anchor. Any podcast source, and search for Love Wins by the Stewards. The video content will live on YouTube, and all you have to do is search for Brian Stewart Sr., and Brian is spelled Bryan.
Yes, and don't forget, guys, if you have some content, because this topic actually came as a question from someone. So if you guys have some content, anything you want us to talk about on next show or show after, please be sure to inbox myself or my husband. And we're also going to do another live taping this season. We hadn't planned it yet, but it will be planned soon. So we'll have a panel of guests on the show. So we'd love for you guys to either be a part of the panel or come to the show.
And I promise you, we're going to start back having guests. We've been through 4 episodes this season. We are going to start back having guests. If you want to be a guest on the show, as well as the content, do the same thing. Email us or inbox us. It's probably quicker to get in touch with us if you inbox us, okay? And don't forget about this Sunday, the charity basketball game between Empire and Trois is this Sunday at Dunbar Community Center at 2:00 p.m. It's the Stop the Violence charity basketball game. We need to curb all of these killings, these young people doing all this killing. So we're doing something. We're giving back to our community. It's a $5 admission to attend. Please come. Kids are going to be free, and we're going to give the money that we raise from the charity to a nonprofit. All right?
Yes. Thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. That's all I got.
That's a wrap. We will see you next week. Love Wins by the Stewards. See you next week.